Alright, so I think we're back at it again. This is where we left off yesterday. I didn't really make too much progress since I was actually working on some of the products to ship over to you guys. So it's hard, right, to do all of this stuff, be the designer, the fabricator, and also the product creator. It's a tough situation. But I was thinking about the overall design, and one inspiration that I'll pull right now is from Dirt Lifestyle. So if we take a look at this photo, this is Nate's setup. So dovetail actually goes further past here. So I mean, not dovetail, the angle, the chamfer goes over here further up. So I think that's what we'll do. Also, we'll chamfer this further back, so that will also match this angle. It makes it a little more crisp. So let's edit this. Remove that tangent propagation there. We'll just delete it outright. Let's go to our chamfer. Just chamfer this a little bit. And then this one, let's see if we can match this contour here. I think something like that. Let's measure this angle real quick. So that's about 150 degrees. So we'll change this chamfer. Make that 150 degrees too. Or get it close, so at least for visualizing the thing we can kind of generate, or at least see that idea a bit better. Yeah, that should be parallel there, right? If you go back to the reference photo, that's I guess that his angle is not as sharp. Maybe we can fix that a little bit. So it looks like we got a good amount of you guys joining the chat. If you have any questions with the overall build so far, let me know. And to catch you guys up on what's going on, I'll pull some photos. So here's what the truck looks like so far, and I'm right now doing like a partial design work, partial fabrication work, because the only thing I've gotten figured out completely is that rear bumper. So it takes a lot of effort to design everything all at once, and there's going to be a lot of, I guess, re-engineering and redoing the stuff. So that's what it looks like from the back side. I still got the actual box itself to build, but I mean, it looks pretty freaking good. And I had to pull it out the garage because the thing is, like, the space that I have, I use that for both production space for all of the products that I sent to you guys, as well as shooting all of the videos in and all the repair videos that you guys see on this channel. So I'll hide this real quick. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I guess that will change transparency. So this is how it's supposed to look like once it's all said and done. At least for the rear bumper end. So I still have this back box to kind of weld in, and this is gonna house the winch, and it's gonna be fully enclosed so that we don't have mud and water collecting in that area. So this is the only thing that's been like fully designed and really thought through. And the triple hitch system is to work if I'm doing like four-wheeling, each of those hitches will work as a recovery point. I'll put like a winch receiver type of like a D-ring holder here. But if I'm not going to be doing any wheeling, these hitch receivers can also act as like a bed extension. So I can add a 2-inch square tube on each side and then kind of extend the bed. So when I'm hauling, long pieces of lumber or long pieces of steel, I don't have to have it overhang so hard, because this is also bobbed by about, I think, 13, 14 inches, like a little over a foot basically, off of the back of the stock size of the stock hitch itself. And this hitch is much higher, so that the departure angle on this is a whole ton better than how it was stock wise. I was smashing my stock hitch beforehand. So right now I'm just kind of visualizing the flatbed portion. So the flatbed will accomplish a few things. First one is I want flat storage, so if I'm hauling a 4x8 sheet of plywood, it'll fit right in. These boxes are going to be removable. And yeah, last requirement is it has to look freaking sexy. You can't have something that looks like shit. So yeah, this is just a rough CAD model. I'll have to build it out to find details like how you see with the rear bumper, because these are just basic rough shapes to help visualize what we're trying to accomplish. So another thing I saw, I think earlier today too, was this picture of a flatbed on one of the Tacoma groups. I thought it was a good way to kind of shape out, I guess, this corner end here. So this is the rough shape. At least we can probably try to achieve this. Like, I like how it's angled this way and this way, so that really cleans it up nicely, and we could probably kind of accomplish that here. So let's visualize that. Well, we'll sketch that up real quick and dirty right now. So I'm using that face as a drawing plane so that we can extrude another shape on top of that. All right, we'll match this up with this line. Hopefully you guys can kind of see and follow all of this CAD work that I'm doing. So this will just create a rough, solid extrusion like this, right? And then we can clean that up a little bit. I think that's too much. So actually, let's shorten that. So pull the reference again, right? It's kind of angled this way, so we can first cut this angle and then we'll angle this second piece here. Cut this way first. And then we can cut it this way. So I'll sketch on this side. I'll hide this bit for now. Yeah, that's looking a whole ton better already. And that's the four-wheel camper. Let's hide that actually. I didn't want to show that. I wanted to show 3D scan. Yeah, that's a whole lot better right there, guys. I probably didn't have to taper it that tightly. Let me go back and edit that sketch. Yeah. I think that's the shape. It's definitely gonna touch the tire here, so let's clean this up a little bit. Have to come from the other side. That all the way through, and then we can extend this flare here. So we'll just sketch on this. overshoot, but we can always add the parallel on the relationship here. So that's pretty much parallel. I think there's something that's yeah, I think I overcut that one. We can fix that. So let's extrude this. Get that to the surface here. Actually, I have to fix this first, as this one's giving me an error. Wait, we'll bypass that. We'll do something else. Edit that sketch. Yeah, there's basically the space that's happening here. So I guess for the purpose of just modeling this, we'll extend this, make it parallel there, and then we'll shoot that. Yeah, something like that, right? And we'll clean this up a little bit too. That's sticking out a little too much for my liking. I'll sketch here. I see your comment there, Jackson Kelly. So I actually have a list of questions that I was gonna answer today too. Let me see if I can pull that up. So I'll start with yours. I know you asked me this yesterday. So you mentioned along the lines of, let me see if I can get my preview back up. This is really small. I don't know if you guys can read it, but I'll just read it out to you. Jackson Kelly, you asked, couldn't join last night, but what's the plan for rear shocks? I mounted just to the bottom of the flatbed, and they are 14-inch shocks. This and the filler neck is why I made the bed at that height. For reference, the flatbed is just about the same height as the 2x6 notch in the bed. And then, yeah, you also mentioned the two different trucks on the Tacoma World. So yeah, thanks for pointing that stuff out. So if you notice my build here, I'll hide. I think you kind of see it. So the reason why I gusseted this section here, this is gusseted on the outside and it's boxed in fully, and this is actually a 1/4-inch steel plate that's mounted on this part of the frame as well. And I'm planning on doing like a fully welded shackle flip, or we'll see when we get there, because my plan for shocks is actually going to be a cantilever long travel, and that cantilever or the shock itself will start on the outside here. It will move this way towards the front, and then we'll have the cantilever system right up above the axle housing itself. So it'll move this way instead of up and down, because I still want to do long travel, right, with the rear suspension, and there's just a lot more engineering work required to accomplish that. That's why I have this space. This whole space right here was the purpose of I guess, for the cantilever suspension. And if you guys don't know what the cantilever suspension is, I'll pull that up real quick. So let's see here. I think this might be a good photo. All right. Let's see if you guys can. I'll try to compress it so you guys can see it a lot better. Let me see my preview if it's set up properly. All right, there we go. So that's what I'm trying to accomplish underneath the flatbed, right? So the cantilever allows you to change the direction of the shock in relative to the direction of the movement of the axle housing. But it adds a lot of complexity. So we got this main tube that will act as the pivot point for these two arms that rotates, and then you have so many moving parts, and this will require like basically a fucking thesis. So I'll have to do it one at a time, right? That's why I at least have created the space for it, because like even the angle of the shock has to be taken into consideration when you're doing this stuff. So yeah, but thanks for all your pictures, dude. That definitely helped drive some ideas. And yeah, I guess to get back to this, let's clean up the flare. So if you guys have any questions, because I see there's a handful of you guys still watching, if you have any questions with any upcoming projects or this build, let me know in the comment section. I know sometimes there's a bit of a lag, but I'll do my best to answer in timely fashion. Okay, so that cleans up the flare a little bit, and I think that's looking pretty friggin' good so far. Yeah, I think that's probably the shape that we're gonna go with, because the other part of this idea too is this will have like a removable rear section, like a removable tailgate. So I'd like the look of, let me see Dirt Lifestyle's photos again. So Dirt Lifestyle's flatbed has this let's take a look at this specific photo here so you guys can see it. All right, maybe you guys can see that. Let me square it up on the preview here. So his actual tailgate is smaller, and what I'm planning on doing is something similar to that effect. We'll have this basically closed off. All of this will be removable, right? This will be removable bedside, and the whole back end will also have a removable tailgate with a partial portion of the walls of this connected to this part of the back. So we can sketch that up at least too tonight. And we'll have permanently mounted rear taillights right on the flatbed portion itself, and might have some additional lighting on the removable bedside too, but we'll figure that out. The electronics are a little bit easier to route than having something fixed. So for now, I think I'm pretty happy with this shape. And let's show the four-wheel camper real quick. So this is going to be four-wheel camper mode, right? And this allows us at least some space in between, and I can put some type of shielding or more storage right in between the two. So let's hide that. And if you guys are just joining, I mean, this is all like rough and dirty in terms of modeling. I'll still have to do some final detailed work on the CAD model. So just like what I did on the rear bumper, I had to really shape out the gussets, shape out the actual box frame design, and shape out every little detail of including this 1.5-inch bar to bolt onto this. This is basically a see-through cover right now on the model, but that's going to be made of 1/4-inch plate steel. So that the detailed work is probably the harder part. Not harder part, but the more tedious part, right? Because the trying to get the good ideas is probably one of the harder parts, and then just having it on the screen exactly, or as close to exact as how I want it to look is pretty difficult. But that's close to what I want it to look like. That feels about right. So let's what we'll do is we'll mirror this so we can see it on both ends, and then I'll start kind of mocking up that tailgate idea. So right now we'll just have to open this by itself. Oh, and actually, before I do that, I wanted to answer another question. So let's see if you line this up on the preview here. I got another question from Farouk Ismail. So he's asking me, I'm not sure I understand what's going on with these videos. And he's referring to the Tacoma bed stream videos, these videos I've been trying to stream every day. If I go to your channel, I don't see any of the flatbed videos you making on this one, like this one. Plus, I'm not understanding the whole thing. Maybe I missed the table of contents of the whole series. In any case, I just wanted you to know, not that it really matters, but maybe there's more viewers like me out there. So, I mean, that's a good question, dude. The thing is, I mean, this is the overall, like the art itself. You know, if you ever watch Bob Ross do his painting, right? He has a blank canvas, and then he's painting shit on the white canvas, and then next thing you know, he's like, we got to scrape this a little bit off, we got to scrape that a little bit off. So, I mean, I guess I'm treating this engineering thing just like that, because we have like the rear bumper kind of done, right? But then we kind of have to integrate this flatbed design and then also add a little bit more features to it, so it goes directly to address all of my specific needs. So, I mean, in order to follow these videos, it's almost like you just kind of watch them sequentially, right? You start with stream 1, stream 2, stream 3, and it's not really gonna be like a table of contents, because I'm still kind of spitballing here, you know. It's not really like a refined book yet. I'm obviously gonna make a full video with all the detailed work, much more chopped, much more refined, and much more produced. But right now, what we're doing is just art, or at least my attempt at art. So hopefully that answers your question. I'll reply to you physically on your comment after I get off this stream. But yeah, let's get back to this real quick. So we'll take this. We'll take this feature and mirror it. So we'll want to mirror everything we see here. Oops, I think I clicked on too much. here we go. We'll start from here. And mirror. Mirror face, not that one. We want the right plane as our mirror face. And just like that. So we'll save this and we'll load the whole assembly. All right, yeah, I think I'm really digging that, guys. Yeah, that looks pretty freaking sweet. Yeah, I think that's the shape. So let's kind of mock up the rear tailgate right now. So that's roughly what we're looking at. It's, I guess we got to make sure everything's parallel here, so it doesn't get all screwy on us when we're gonna extrude this. Now, let's set a thickness. That's 2 inches. Seem all right. Oh, this line's not lined up. Yeah, that's not gonna extrude properly. Let's fix that real quick. Oh yeah, that one's not gonna extrude properly either. This the art piece, there's going to be parts of this that can get jacked up if you don't draw the lines properly. I guess that's good enough. We'll see. I got it to the surface here. Yeah, see there's a little artifact there that's going on because I didn't exactly draw that line properly, but I guess whatever, that's fine. Yeah, I think I'm digging that pretty nicely. All right, because we have this cutaway to make our turning radius much tighter so we don't smash this into the rocks, and then it has to kind of overhang over this rear bumper. So this will be what it'll look like on I guess like wheeling mode, if we want to call it that, right? Because we'll have wheeling mode, which will be roughly something like this, and then a flatbed mode. Let me see if we can roll back this model. Roll this back. So that'll be like the flatbed mode. Bring that back up. That's our wheeling mode, and then we'll hide just the rear portion, and that will be like and we'll show this. That'll be like 4-wheel camper mode, right? So we got 3 different like modular methods for deploying this truck. But yeah, I think I'm really digging that look there. And I just saw a chat through Jack's camera. I guess that's you, Jack. I like the 2 receiver hitch for a bed extension. Yeah, dude. That took a long time to think through. Because I was thinking about it, right? Like, whenever I had to haul anything, you use the hitch receiver for your ball, your hitch ball. But then I also have a motorcycle that I used to carry on like the hitch portion. So when I carried it almost like a bicycle, right, so that the back end is perpendicular to the truck, like the thing would kind of rock. I didn't like that. So I was like, why don't these trucks have 2 hitches so you can friggin' further stabilize it? So with this, it's also going to be a pretty strong extension, because technically I can use all 3 hitch receivers as a way to fixate like a bed extension. I got you, bro. 2 different jacks in here. Yep. Yeah, I'm not sure which jack's which, but you guys are both awesome. Definitely a lot of very insightful thoughts and pictures that you guys shared. So yeah, yeah, thanks, dude. The design is like the hardest part. It takes so long, right? Because there's so much to have inspiration on, and it's not like I build this and it's like right there and ready. There's always going to be something to modify, and sometimes I sit on ideas for a while before new ideas pop in. But I think this is closer to like the 80% of what I want. So once I start doing the finer detailed work, like how you saw with my rear bumper, then I might have to change some things around, right? Like also, I haven't really figured out the gas portion yet, but we'll do that on the fine detailed work. So let's see. I think I might have to cut tonight's stream early, since I'm also prepping for a trip for this weekend. So let's see. There was one more question probably that we can answer here. So, okay, this is from the Beast HD9BL. So get water real quick, but ECGS bushing upgrade. This was the question he posted on that video. Does the part of the CV that fit into the differential have a lock? This one's I guess we can pull what the CV looks like. The CV on the Tacoma have a little lock ring at the end of it, so that it doesn't just slide out so easily. Let me see if I can pull a picture. This is probably the best one right now from Amazon. I'll pull that into the preview. So, okay, I think this is actually a good angle right here. This is this part of the CV that goes into the diff. You can see that there's a little recess on there, and inside that recess it's almost like a snap ring. So the snap ring Like that's why it gets a little difficult to push that in the beginning, because you got to get that snap ring to sit flush first, and then you also have to get the tulip inside the CV pushed all the way into the cup before you start hitting the outside end with a hammer, right? Because everything will compress when you hit it with with your dead blow hammer to get it in. So you have to compress it first, as otherwise you're just fighting the spring force or the spring back, and it's not gonna go in. So let's close this. I got another comment from Jack. You could also, actually 2 comments. Let me read that real quick. The gas fill I lowered an inch or 2. 90% of the time it works perfect. Seems like I had issues with some pumps that make it go slower. I see. I rest the pump handle sideways on the fender. Okay, that makes sense. Are you using the same stock filler neck there, Jack? Like, or did you cut it and kind of fit it with your setup? And then let's see, you have a different comment here. You could also put it vertically, which most people seem to have a good luck with. I don't want that to maximize my camper space. I see. And the other Jack, you mentioned I put my fill high on the bulkhead, but it still has issues filling in some stations. Yeah, I wonder what's causing the that issue though, right? Because I'm not exactly sure how those pumps are getting triggered slower or faster. It's technically, like, you can still fill a jerry can, right, with no issues, as long as the tip doesn't get completely, I guess, immersed in the gas. Once the tip immerses in the gas, then that would trigger the friggin' thing to stop. So yeah, I see your comment there, Jack. You cut down the stock full neck. That's a good idea. I'll have to do some testing too. So yeah, because also if we put it vertically, yeah, you're right. We'll lose some bed space, and it's gonna be annoying, right, to have to move the shit on top of the bed to get to the fill. Oh, yeah, I just saw your message there, Farouk. Yeah, dude, it's hard to edit those videos. The long form videos, it takes me forever, man, because I'm trying to teach, so I end up like rewatching these videos over and over, and sometimes I have to kind of take a break because I don't know if I cut too much where some of the ideas might be too thin and the video doesn't make sense, you know. So at least with the streaming, you guys can kind of see a little bit more of the progress with the stuff that I'm working on, because the stuff from my camera, the footage from my camera to actual final results, that takes sometimes a few months. You know? At least this, it's like right out of my mouth, and you guys can kind of hang out while I'm thinking about some of the engineering problems that's going on as we're building this out. So hopefully you saw like a little bit more of the progress, dude. Like, I think this is the final, at least the 80%, 90% shape that we're gonna go with for this. There's gonna be some engineering problems to solve, like the whole gas and filler neck. I didn't know that you guys, the 2 Jacks that's been involved here, has been going through some issues, because I wonder if that's just the way the geometry is, right? Because what happens is, from my understanding, those nozzles will cut off if if the thing's filling too quickly. So maybe if the nozzle's angled downwards more. I'm not sure. So I'll stay on for another minute or two. I think I actually have to start getting ready since I'm heading up to Vermont this coming weekend. Leaving Friday morning, so I got a bunch of packing and cooking to do. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, I'll try to also stream from Vermont. We'll see how the actual wireless service is over there, or if I'll have daylight. So, and also I guess, Farouk, the other purpose was not only involve you guys and to have you guys also see the most current progress on the truck. It's also to help you guys out if you have any type of upcoming projects, right? Like tips and tricks that you want me to personally answer for you if you're gonna tackle, like, let's say a lower control arm swap or something. So I'm trying to be on these streams like basically every day. That's the goal, is to hit 6 o'clock every day and stream a little bit on the design, or if I'm in the garage, I'll be doing a little bit of fabrication. So it'll be going back and forth. And then on an occasion where I'm out of town, then we'll stream from the campsite or from out in the woods. But yeah, that's the overall purpose of this goal. So Jack, I see you had another mention there. I think the gas backs up in the fill neck and shuts off the pump. Yeah. So yeah, I wonder, what happens if you increased the diameter of that fill neck, right? Like, might have to do a different fill neck. I'm not sure if you can somehow find the diameters as you're researching these things. And Tommy C, yo to you too, man. So I think if you guys are just joining in, I think this is basically the 80% shape, 90% shape we're looking for. I made some modifications in comparison to yesterday, but we'll have 3 different modes for this whole setup. This will be 4-wheel camper mode. We'll hide this, and then we'll have, I'll show this to you. This will be like the wheeling mode, right? Where we have a full tailgate, everything's enclosed. I mean, I want like a lid for this too, and the lid will have the spare tire. I freaking popped the spare tire. Oh, popped my tire on my last wheeling trip, and I didn't have a freaking spare. But luckily, my brother's Land Cruiser, he had the same bolt pattern, and I just borrowed his spare. I had those what do you call it? Those sidewall repair kits, but I actually popped my tire right on the stream, so everything was wet. I was like, this sidewall repair kit's not gonna cure properly if it's friggin' soaked in there. So it's just much easier to do the spare tire swap. So yeah, we'll have the lid. The lid will have the spare tire on top, and then we'll also have like a flatbed mode too. So this, everything comes off. So we'll have basically a bare flat like that. And I just saw your comment there, Jack. All of it comes off, dude. So we'll have my next fabrication work, once I have the design done, will look something like this. And then we'll have some type of a provision here on the sides to allow for those boxes to come on and off. And we'll have permanent lighting, right, for the rear, for turn signals, park light, all that stuff, right on this part of the bed itself. And on the actual bedside boxes, we'll have cutaways, and we'll do like some quick disconnect somewhere. So I think that's at least a rough idea Yeah, I'm pretty freaking happy with that. I think that's overall that's coming together. Yeah, so I still have a lot of welding to do though. Like since I'm leaving this weekend, I have to put all the welding on pause. Just saw your comment there, Jack. Yeah, can't wait to get it done too, bro. You have a bunch of build left to a bunch left to build on yours. It's been awesome you so far. Like I can only imagine how useful a flatbed is. 'Cause I do a little bit of woodworking on the side and hauling long sheets of 4x8 ply, and I had the camper brackets on there that interferes. It wouldn't sit flat, so that was so annoying. So another comment from Farouk Ismail. From my previous job, I know the flow of gas or fumes being displaced is that. Oh yeah, I guess the fumes also, right? Maybe a bigger hole for displaced of fumes would stop the nozzle from shutting off. Oh, it's a very interesting point, guys. Yeah, because I think if you go with a wider diameter neck, right, that also does both. You have larger hole essentially, and then also faster flow rate that you can accomplish. So, all right, guys, it's 6:52. I actually gotta make dinner with my wife, so I'll cut this stream for the evening. And if you guys have any questions that you think up of, just come back again tomorrow. I'll be back around 6 p.m. again. But thank you all for joining. The two Jacks, Ismail, Farouk Ismail, and Tommy, thanks for joining. You guys have a good evening.